Hi friends, how are you? In this video clip, I am going to brief you on milling acid dyes. Friends, milling acid dyes is belongs to the name itself indicating that is right side acid dyes. It is a class of acid dyes. Okay, sound is coming. It is a class of acid dyes, but categorized under the group milling. Already I released the videos on acid dyes, that is molecularly split acid dyes, aggregated acid dyes, leveling acid dyes, both in Hindi language as well as in English language. Friends, whatever the class is done, like that other dyes also classified, that I will take in other videos. Now I am going to cover complete portion of acid dyes. Friends, those who are in those who are watching in the US, those who are watching in Japan, Turkey, because of you I am trying to speak clearly, because most of my dyeing chemistry videos are watched in US. Okay, friends, milling acid dyes. Before that, please watch my other videos related to acid dyes. Acid dyes released 1 year back, that is running successfully. Then later last week recently I released 3 videos both in English and Hindi and aggregated molecular split dyes, leveling dyes. Okay, now milling. Friends, what is milling? Milling, those who are studying or studied in textile technology, the graduation, maybe the course completion, maybe in diploma in textile technology or BTech in textile technology or MTech in textile technology or handloom technology, whatever the local courses, country-wise courses, the graduations names are different related to the education. Different universities provide different the names, title of the education, especially other courses in textile courses, textile and fashion technology courses. So, you know what is milling. Milling is the word used in the process of wool fiber manufacturing. Wool fiber manufacturing process, it is used. Just briefly, I will explain, I will cover the introduction. Wool fiber is extracted from the skin of the goat or sheep. Okay, that is animal fiber. Protein fiber. Okay, the protein content in this animal fiber wool is keratin. Keratin is the substance present in the wool fiber, wool hair. Okay, that we call as protein fiber also. This sheep or goat may be from any other countries, regions. From Australian, mainly maximum wool production taken place in Australia, in European countries, and in Kashmir, in India and surroundings, in North India and Kashmir. Okay, whatever is there. Angora, Kashmir, Merino, these are all the categories are there. That is not. So whatever the extracted the fiber that is taken for other processes. Say example, Cotton fiber is extracted from the seed and taken for ginning, and later for further products, scouring and other things are there. Like that, these fibers also to be cleaned properly, because the fibers extracted from the cut from the skin of the fiber, so that whatever that animal is, the sheep or goat is there, that might not have always clean like humans. Okay, so some parts of the body are clean wool, some parts of the body are clean fluff, wool, fleece, what do you call, whatever the words you call. Okay, so different parts of the goat or sheep are graded separately, taken separately for the particular end products, end use separately, because the hairs produced in the neck part of the goat, the hair produced in the stomach part of the goat, the hair produced in the backbone of the goat or back of the goat or face, whatever, those are all the fineness or the shade or the cleanness are varying. So the fibers are taken for scouring, cleaning. Okay, then milling. These fibers, see the word milling used, the other word for milling is felting. Wools are felt, and also knitted fabrics also felt. What is felt? See, the wool products taken for different end products. Wool products are different. Fibers are processed for different. Say example, non-wovens are there. Non-woven fabrics. Non-woven fabrics, there is no weaving, there is no interlacement, there is no intermeshing of loops. Directly fibers are felted in the fabric form by adding the adhesives or gums or glues, whatever is there, to hold the fibers. Felting is taken place. Same that the felting of the wool fibers is involving. That is called as milling. That is in the cylindrical form of the mechanism, machines, the wool fibers are processed, passed, or even fabrics are passed. The felting of the fabrics, wool fabrics, the felting of the wool fibers, both are taking place. But because of the property, characteristics of the wool, simply passing between the cylinders to give the shape, to retain the shape, to maintain, to place the fibers properly in the product going to be produced, to give the shape or flatness to the product, shape to the product, to place the fibers properly inside, whatever is there, that requires some additional chemicals are required. Some process is required, some liquids are to be added, some chemicals are to be added, okay, with that mechanical process. Felting or milling is a mechanical process, but that requires chemicals. In this case, friends, acetic acid is used. Acetic acid is used along in the process of milling, okay, to get the end product, the goal. It should reach the end product requirements. Okay, that is milling is there. That milling is a part of the process of wool fiber, wool product manufacturing. Okay, please go through that. Even I released 2 years back the wool fiber manufacturing. You can check that products also, that video also if you want. Otherwise, you go for Google search or you go for any other search engines or refer library about the milling, what is milling. Friends, see, I'm going to introduce whatever the points here written on the board. Those are all the introductory point to introduce what is milling acid dyes, what quality they have, what characteristics they have, what are milling acid dyes. So one by one point I will read and try to explain you. These dyes are also called as neutral acid dyes. Friends, these milling acid dyes are also called as neutral acid dyes. Why? Neutral, the word neutral, no alkali, no acidity. Thus, whatever the dye bath is there, whatever the where really the dyeing taking place, acid dye is used, there the chemical equation is the reaction or process, the equilibrium, what you call equilibrium, not the word equilibrium, that is chemistry, the neutral. Usually we are using in the pH, neutral pH, not in alkaline side, not in neutral side. In the middle, might be middle. 4, the grade pH grade 4 indicates acid. The grade 7 indicate neutral. Understand, this milling acid dyes are used in the pH range of 4 to 7. 7, 7 is the pH, neutral pH is there. This is there. Okay, neutral is there. So these dyes are milling process is taken place in the neutral pH. Not full alkali, not towards alkali, not fully concentrated alkali. Sorry, the concentrated acid. Okay, these dyes are called neutral acid dyes. Okay, but in case of leveling dyes, okay, in case of leveling dyes, pH to be taken care. Acid concentration to be taken place in leveling dyes, because how much acid concentration is increased, that much of affinity towards the fiber taken place from the dye particles. Means their pH concentration is more. pH is more in case of leveling acid, or in case of molecular split acid dyes, in case of some other dyes. But in this case, concentration, more concentration is not required. No need to increase the acid concentration to make the affinity between the acid dye particles and protein substance in the wool. Because the basic characteristic of the milling acid dyes itself, they have high affinity. They have good affinity between the dyes and the protein substance wool. So why there is the need of increasing the acid concentration? So neutral is enough. 7 is also, pH 7 is also enough. Even you maintain 4, even 6 is also enough. Okay, na? Not 8, 9, 10. Okay, 7. 7 is good. Okay, na? These dyes useful for wool products. Friends, milling acid dyes manufactured specifically for intensively, deliberately for wool products. Wool products, because milling is taken place in wool process only, not for polyester, not for cellulosic fibers like cotton, linen, or rayon, or any regenerated fibers, tencel, specifically for wool products. Okay, and they are of larger molecules and higher molecular weight. Friends, fibers, acid dyes are classified as soluble and insoluble dyes. Soluble dyes like molecular split acid dyes, like leveling dyes, have lighter weight molecules. Immediately they dissolve in the water and make the solution clear. But like aggregated acid, these milling acid dyes belongs to aggregated. The dyes are of aggregate in nature because of their high molecular weight. Their molecular weight is high, their molecular size is also high. So immediately dissolution of dyes not taken place immediately. Okay, na? So their molecular height is more is there compared to. So it's our is aggregate form. Okay, now they are used for package dyeing and piece dyeing. Friends, the dyeing of wool fibers, you know the dyeing mechanisms, the dyeing method, the textile materials going to dye are of different form. If the fabric is there, whether it is knitted, if it is a knitted fabric, taken in the it is dyed in the rope form. Even all fabrics also taken for rope form, or even widthwise open width form also it is dyed in case of woven fabrics. But in case of yarn dyeing, cone dyeing is also done, cheese dyeing is also done, like a piece dyeing, piecewise dyeing is also done. Package dyeing, what are the package dyings? Like cones, and a package form. Cone is a package form. Like that, any other forms are there. So, once upon a time, these milling acid dyes for local what you call package form, but the leveling is there, no? Fabric, if the fabric is taken in a bulk, in a package form, so it is difficult for leveling. The dye leveling of the dye, the evenness of the dyeing takes place is very difficult. But nowadays technology is developed, technology upgradation is happened. So by using the technology, it is done. Piece dyeing is also done, package dyeing is also done, but condition that the required temperature to be taken care, required acid concentration to be taken care. Presence of acid, control, temperature control, pH control is both are important in case of piece dyeing and package dyings, because the specific reason to use milling acid dyes is for best wash fastness, not to get even dyeing. Friends, if the fabric dyed with the milling dyes taken on the inspection table, what will happen? Dyeing defects, no even defects, dyeing defects will be there. Evenness, the chances of evenness is very less. But if the fabric is dyed by leveling dyes and taken for inspection, 100% leveling will be there, evenness will be there. Defects, no defects are there. So these dyes meant for good wash fastness. Leveling acid dyes meant for good evenness. Understand? Leveling dyes are good for evenness, even dyeing. But this milling dyes good for best wash fastness. Leveling acid dyes not good for wash fastness. Milling acid dyes are not good for even dyeing. Hope you are understanding the difference between leveling dyeing and milling acid dyes and level acid dyes. Okay, they are commonly applied with the acetic acid pH 4 to 7. I told already in the starting, acetic acid is used. Sometimes in a rare case, sulfuric H2SO4 was used, but it is recommended to use acetic acid with a pH 4 to 7. 7 is a neutral, 4 is acidic. That can be used. Okay, strong affinity towards woolen fibers that I already told. Milling acid dyes have strong affinity. Okay, the dye particle fiber is absorbed very fast, quickly. These dyes, absorption taken place very quickly. Available in different grades and shades as per the requirements. Milling acid dyes nowadays available locally. Number of Dye manufacturers are there, chemical manufacturing companies are there producing. You can go for search, Google search or any searches in the trade, dye trading, you will come to know. Okay. So friends, hope you are understanding what is milling, what are milling acid dyes. See, I am telling you the definition of the milling or felting. It is the finishing, felting or milling. Now I am telling, okay. It is the finishing process. Milling is the finishing process in the wool fabrics. Okay. To alter the appearance, body elasticity and the strength. Okay, na? Means when it is to finish the fabric, milling is used. Milling is the process used for finishing. But I told in the fibers also, like non-wovens also. See here, this duster is there. This duster, what this part is there? This is non-woven part is there. This is the upper part, white part is there. This is the non-woven part. This is the felted. Actually, this is made from compact, fibers are compactly placed. Like that, non-wovens. Non-wovens also require felting, wool felting. Okay, that is also a milling. Okay, and also you see the finishing, fabric finishing. You observe the wool fabrics produced and packed and came for cutting, or any you observe the wool fabrics stitched for the jackets, okay, for winter seasons, jackets and coats. You observe the finishing. You cannot see the yarns interplacement of yarns. You cannot see. You can see like flat wool fabric. You can see it like a flat. You cannot see by naked eye the yarns inside present because of this milling. Compactness, wool fibers are, see the characteristics of wool fibers are bulge. They are bulge and bulge appearance is there. Even after spinning the yarn, the yarn wools are not fine as coarser because of the bulgy in nature. If after weaving also it is bulgy later, bulge will be there. It is like sponge, bulge is there. Flatness will be not there, correct flatness. So to give flatness to the fiber, to place the yarns or fibers inside properly, this milling is required. So this milling, to do the milling, and also which color fabric is required, that color dye is also can be used. Milling acid dyes. Both scouring and milling can be done at a time in the same process to save the cost of production, to save the time of the production, especially in the bulk. Okay, na? So what are the properties, are the plus points and negative points of these dyes? Good wash fastness on wool and nylon textiles. Even it is nylon also, they prefers. Actually, milling acid dye is preferred for wool, but nylon also is done. Nylons are dyed not only by this milling, but other class of dyes is used, because they have given in some books nylon, but as per me it is best is wool. And good wash fastness, super, produce bright colors. Even though this milling acid dyes used for wool of bulgy in nature and compact and heavyweight fabrics, okay, even especially you see friends, I am remembering when I was working, almost most of the wool fabrics used for coats and jackets, and especially winter for exporting for the winter cold region countries, okay, in the European market or US market, whatever are there, they are of the weight grams per square meter GSM is always more than 300 GSM, 300 grams per square. They are not lightweight. Wool products are not lightweight. Like oil, like canvas fabric, cotton canvas, or taffeta, polyester taffeta, not like that. The heavy fabrics. Even those wool fabrics, heavyweight wool fabrics are dyed by charcoal color, by a dark black, okay, dark brown color, black, almost dark colors are used. Light shade is very difficult, and bright colors also very difficult. But the chances are there by milling acid dyes, bright colors also possible to produce. Bright colors also produce. Is possible, is there? Their light fastness varies. But wet fastness, wet treatment fastness are good, but light fastness is average, is there? Not so good, not so poor. Light fastness, friends, means when the fabric exposed to the sunlight continuously or any high intense light for longer time, the color will fade. Okay, that fastness. Even though after long exposed to the high intense light or continuous exposure to the sunlight, the color should not fade. That is a good fastness of the light. But this milling acid dyes are of not good, not bad, average there. Okay, it's good because wool products, wool jackets, wool, whatever the wool products are, friends, if you recall, remember, whatever the wool products are there, most of the wool products are used for the winter season or cold, to make the cap, to make the jacket, to make the whatever the cold season required, to keep the body warm. Why? It's a question of exposing to the sunlight. That is in summer, or say other rainy or autumn. Okay, so no requirement of good light fastness. Okay, friends. Okay, dye evenness is little bit poor. Already told, these dyes are meant for wood wash fastness. So evenness, it's difficult to achieve evenness on the fabric. Little bit difficult is there. But to achieve evenness, the extra chemicals agents are evenness, that is leveling chemicals are used. Leveling chemicals means ammonium sulfate. Ammonium sulfate is a leveling agent that is used and take care of pH and temperature, and by adding this required amount of ammonium sulfate, the dyeing defects of related to evenness can be covered. Okay, so last I am telling you, already I told 4 to 6 or 4 to 7 pH is required, leveling is medium, molecular weight good, everything is there, good. Already I covered. One for cellulose fibers, it is not meant for cellulosic fibers. Okay, friends, now I am going to last point, that is the commercial. What usually you best, instead of explaining here, you put Google search milling acid dyes, you will come to know the trade names, manufacturers names. Any country, if you are watching from any countries, in your countries, who are all the manufacturers are there, milling acid dyes. Okay, I am from India. I can check from Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, other things, and even Amritsar are there, Mumbai are there, Color Jet from Mumbai, Amritsar, Poplan is there. Like that, many are there. Okay, like that, your countries also, local manufacturer there, you can go and search. In that name, acid dyes name, brand name will be there, shade name will be there, or code will be there, CI number will be there. Okay, na? Okay, friends, I'm going to close this live video today. Please subscribe to my channel Guruvira Textile and Fashion Technology Tutorials. Like it and share it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good night.